What have you taken from your hiking that you're able to translate into the motivational world that you're in, and the lessons, I guess, that you're teaching and translating over? What are those?
Okay, so favorite place that I've hiked. I don't know that I've yet gotten to a place that I didn't enjoy.
Right. Yeah.
Any weather, any place
is better than a desk.
Oh my goodness, so much better than a desk, better than a computer. Absolutely. So one thing that I try to bring from the woods and from nature into the corporate world is a sense of peace, a sense of calm. The more that you get out there and you just take a walk in the woods, even if it's at a local park, doesn't have to be very far out, doesn't have to be super deep in the wilderness. It's nicer in the wilderness, and there's aspects to it that get better in the wilderness. But just going out and taking a short walk in the woods will increase your sense of calm and help you with really everything, every aspect of your life. And there's this new trend going around, forest bathing, where essentially they take people out and help them be mindful while they're out in the forest.
Yeah.
And that's a good model, I think, for a lot of what I do. Where let's just go out there, let's
sort
relax,
of ground and center yourself,
get grounded, get centered, absolutely. And then inside of all of that as well, there's these team building aspects of it, there's these leadership aspects of it, and I've got and am developing different programs and different games and activities that all help bring these ideas out. When I was younger, I went on an Outward Bound course. And if you've ever been on an Outward Bound course, it's life-changing. You go out there and they do something to you. They're like, oh yeah, hey, time for shipwreck, and you're like, wait, what? And
everything gets turned into turmoil or whatever, and you kind of have to survive, right?
Right. Survival is a good word for it, but less survival and more
work together,
perseverance, and working together. Absolutely. Honestly, if anybody is listening to this and thinking about going out into the woods, one thing that I will tell you to help you gain that peace:
use the buddy system.
That's for safety. That's for safety.
Yeah.
Bring people with you for safety, or at least tell people where you're going and when you expect to be back.
Yeah.
But for the small little local parks where it's almost impossible to get lost, put your phone and leave it in the car.
Yeah.
If you want to take photos, bring a camera. I know nobody really has cameras
I don't
anymore.
even know. I was going to say, do people even own the cameras anymore?
Get a camera.
Yeah. Or
if you want to take
what?
photos,
Put
get
your
a camera.
phone on airplane mode.
Oh, that's the other way to do it. Put it on airplane mode. The only problem with airplane mode is that it's too tempting to turn off airplane mode and post to Instagram or post to wherever you want to post. Shut it off. To maybe even get break out your old cell phone if it has a decent camera on it.
Yeah.
And this way you just have because the idea is you want to be there.
Right.
You want to be in the woods. You want to be relaxing. You want to be able to hike without worrying about, what are they going to say about this post? What are they going to say about this? And really, you don't even need photos. In order to get that sense of relaxation, if you're focused on the photos, right, you won't be getting that sense of relaxation.
Yeah. You've seen some of these companies, big companies like Google and Amazon, things like that, where they provide moments of time in a person's workday where they can decompress, they can shut down for a second, turn things off.
I do hope to have the opportunity to teach people to recenter themselves. Again, that's where the workshop out in the woods comes into.
Yeah.
Part of that program is focused on helping people get back to center and getting, helping them reach deep inside themselves, finding aspects of themselves that they never knew that they had.
Yeah.
Building upon those strengths.
Yeah.
And that's part of it is hey, look, we all learned in kindergarten when it's time to take a time out, take a time out.
Yeah.
But how many of us are actually...
we all had nap time still. Seriously.
Hey, man, there's a couch right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable to nap on, though. I can tell you that.
So hammocks, all right, fine. But I mean, when did we forget that?
Yeah.
When did we forget that if you're having a tough time, it's okay to sit down and just take a minute.
Stop, yeah.
Stop, I go out into the woods and walk. Even don't walk, like you said,
just
take
sit for a minute.
It's nobody's willing to do that because what happens is because we have these cell phones on us all the time, there's never sitting for a minute because you sit down and you pull out your cell phone. That's become, I think it's the curse of our generation. Nobody's ever with themselves and only themselves, and everybody's afraid to be.